Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich as the French exiles, who are now the Kingdom of France. We have a new king. He's going to give us, that 10% stability boost actually does mean a lot, seeing as we are currently at very, very bad stability. We're going to be getting a little bit more off of the eldest daughter of the church. The Italian government has fallen to the ANI. Who cares? I mean, it doesn't really matter so much as far as I'm concerned. We do need more sport equipment. The game keeps on telling me this, so we'll put one more factory there. We will arrest politicians. And we'll kind of get all this stuff done. All rotten. The left, the radicals, the moderates were all prime suspects. From the municipal councillors to the member of parliament, they had headed the Goys for decades, failing France at every turn. Always pushing further the destruction of the church, fanning the flames of socialism with their incompetence and the dogmatic promises. Those not already awaiting trial were arrested, interrogated, and sometimes made to give up the names of fellow traitors, sometimes forced to invest for their treason. Special tribunals were created, with the crowds gathering in every town to see those who had betrayed them, for long get what the long coming. For so long, get what was long coming. At last, the pays legal was tumbling, trials were often somewhat rushed, but most were given time to prepare their defenses with proper legal assistance provided if they could not afford one. Most were condemned to abandon holding public office, some prison sentences, and a few to the death penalty. While this is satisfactory for the government, some of the more radical voices are advocating for a more expected procedure to deal with such filth. King Justice is fair. This is a counter-revolution, not a tea party. Yeah, let's just arrange some firing squads. Why not go as hard out as we can, right? The investigation revealed the worrying state of affairs. The mole was found relatively quick by men personally loyal to the Gaul, and double agents have been extracting a trove of information from him. It seems that a large part of the Bureau was sympathetic to Murdoch, and though they have been dutifully helped us purge other elements of society, they've been carefully hidden proof that some were in contact with their enemies, even going so far as to destroy seized evidence. We must, however, tread carefully. These are, after all, talented men, and our investigation seems to show they acted more loyally to each other than to any deep ideological commitment. The Rooster, personally close to some of these men of the Bureau, seem to think that simply court-circuiting the mole, feeding him inaccurate information for him to share to planted contacts, and letting the Bureau remain intact will be sufficient. After all, there are few open Republicans left. Sacrificing vulnerable assets to fight Shadow seems like a waste. Others argue that the Bureau cannot be trusted, and that as such, it should be disbanded and replaced with some of the less trustworthy members assigned to posts far in the Saharan desert. Finally, simply getting rid of all of them might be the easiest choice. Let's go for a purge. So we're basically, we've kind of gone for the most extreme option in every single option we had. Okay, once again into Eve, get a little bit more political power from that. Should be done in 46 days. I don't think there's anything else that we really need to worry about too much here. At least not until we can get the next level of the railroad, which I think is going to be a little bit of time from now. Yeah, 73 days. So, what is happening elsewhere in the world? You guys are at war with each other. That's fine. Federal government is still, looks like they're still getting the backing of the Japanese. You've gone, I think, for German backing. And aside from that, Iran has gone for authoritarian democratic. Egypt can't do too much yet. Because again, I think it takes till 1939 for their war to actually really go into full swing. Middle Africa is still under Goring. It hasn't collapsed, and I don't know if it will. 10 years ago, the government instituted a heavy-handed natalist policy, which among many other measures included the creation of a special celebration for Mother's Day and a medal of the French family, awarded to good mothers of numerous families. How many families does one mother have? You say we like numerous children, anyways. Though the result of these policies are only just starting to be felt, Mother's Day has been caught on as a truly popular celebration. It is now widely celebrated in schools and homes across the nation, to the delight of mothers everywhere, and has been customary for children to bring home little gifts for their mothers, and for husbands to make sure that the special day for wives, and of course their own mothers. In a speech broadcast on the radio today, Jean III reminded women that only you can give to future generations a taste of honest work, the sense of discipline, of modesty, and respect, which makes a healthy man and a strong nation. You are the source of our Christian civilization and our greatest hope for the future. Ensuring that the incredible important role of women in society is reminded to us all and given respect that it deserves. A little bit more political power, a little bit more stability. I will take it. No reason to say no. We are missing some rubber, and I think it's fine for us to trade 1 rubber spurs. People were also saying that we probably should be trading with the, we should be trading with the Entente before trading with anybody else, which actually does make a lot of sense. Because it actually gives them some bonus civilian factories, and we don't want to give bonus civilian factories to our enemies for obvious reasons. And I'm assuming we're not allowed to trade with the commune, right? Yes, no. Yeah, because we got the embargo. I was wondering if they actually, I was wondering if they actually programmed it in there. I don't know why they would have forgotten that though. Okay, so we got 2 more infantry divisions. Assign them into Blue Army. So right now, like, if we land here, get a bit of a beachhead. Like, I think we land here just because it's actually in a very defendable position. If we, like, let's say, land in Marseille, they can attack in a lot of spots. But if we, like, land here, take these 3 provinces, especially since these are in the mountains, it'll be really, really hard for the commune to break through. And we can allow, you know, Canadian or even German troops, whatever we need to do. Allow more units to come into the country. So what else do we want? Research speed goes up. Factory output would be really nice. More civilian war support would not be bad. Political power, your 10% stability. Bad organization and bad recruit population factor for about half a year. Gives a lot of political power. You will end Republican ideology. I think we want to get this one done fast because we don't want that to be an issue when we're actually at war. And seeing as we're still about 2 years away, get it done now so it doesn't become a big problem in the future. So the American Civil War should be starting soon. They're passing the relief bill. We'll kind of see how that goes. We keep on losing some manpower and some equipment. I'm hoping that resistance doesn't get, like, so bad. Take a quick look. So you're at 55, and you're kind of even. You guys are going down. You're actually core of our territory. So you're not having any resistance whatsoever, which I think is quite nice for us. What do we want to research? There's construction. You know, no, let's get our way better towards the 1939 rifle. Having better guns on the commune would definitely be a boon for us. You're in the Entente, right? Yeah. You guys are having free and fair elections, like complete nerds. Let me just tell you that. What is everybody else doing? You know, election in 1940. I'm going to go and say that's probably not going to be happening. Okay, so we got Argentina. Their war will probably begin at some point soon. Maybe they are just going to go social democratic and not go any further than that. But I mean, I don't see, because I know they can go syndicalist. I don't think it's possible for Brazil to kind of go that way. And you guys will be done in 3 days. There's more activity. So let's see what we've done. I feel like we probably have taken, like, the wrong choices by being incredibly harsh on the Republicans. But we'll kind of see. We'll see. I do notice the game's kind of being a little bit laggy. Standoff in America, not a big problem. Dispute from Senokoi. Whereas research regarding conflict between 2 churches in the province of French Sudan. Recently, a Protestant missionary couple was set out to the village of Senkai after hearing about a small community of young converts who had come under attack by their pagan neighbors. Since their arrival, much work had been undertaken to convert to more indigenous. However, this has attracted the attention of a nearby Catholic mission just a few miles away from where missionaries had already begun building their church. Local authorities had already approved the construction, much to the anguish of long-established Catholic missionaries, seeing their Protestant neighbors leading growing numbers away from the church. They reached out to colonial authorities requesting that we overturn the local ruling and force the missionaries to move elsewhere, arguing that this couple seeks to sow dissent in the region. Yeah, I mean, we can't let the filthy Protestants build a church in Sudan. So we've gone for a total Republican purge. Several months after coming into power, we've been able to secure the loyalty of most fields of society. The police, the Second Bureau, the politicians, the army, and the command learned to be loyal to the king and a new regime. We can hope that the remnants of Republicans will not be trouble anymore. It is possible, however, that we hit too much on the Republicans in some centers, lowering our efficiency there, or contrary, we didn't hit them hard enough. This means that some parts of the state aren't entirely under our control yet, but ultimately, this can't endanger the regime anymore. In any way, we can thank our Camelot Roy and our investigators for this well-rounded affair. We can only hope that newfound loyalty will last. So, we have political power gain goes up, more encryption, construction speed sucks, organization's bad, research speed sucks, reinforcement rates also horrible, and planning speed is garbage. Fantastic. So, I mean, it could be better, could be worse. The issue of women's suffrage has been a contentious one in French politics for a long while. At the Revolution, women were considered passive citizens, a category shared with children and domestics. In other words, citizens who were inherently under the influence of another, and as such, could not be trusted with the right to vote. In 1848, when the Second Republic was established and universal suffrage was declared, women were excluded from such universality. It didn't when the Third Republic was declared in 1870. Though there were sympathies among more progressive Republicans for the cause of women's suffrage, they still considered that vote for women would be used against the fragile republic. Furthermore, the party radical, dominating French politics and well known for its deep anti-clericalism, doubted the independence of women from the church, a concern which had been exacerbated in years since the exile. As Pope Benedict XV gave support to women's suffrage in 1919, the republic then, when it's most vulnerable, could not afford to risk women voting along either the husband's will or worse, the church's. Charles Maurras has long defended the Action Française, the right for women to vote. Indeed, they had the right in France for centuries before the Revolution, but being called to vote in parish, communal, or even regional assemblies, participating in equals in urban assemblies if they were widowed, for example. And as the church had officially taken a position on the matter, now that we have finally freed France from the grasp of the Goyce, it is our duty to right the wrongs committed by the Republicans, and as such, a royal decree has been published declaring that from now on, women would have the right and duty to participate in politics. We get a little bit more stability out of that, which is nice. We can join the ISAC, which I think is probably just going to be a benefit for us. If we're going to lose the political power from you, that's kind of okay. So we don't need that much political power regardless. I mean, we could say we could get some war support, but we're not at 50% world tension yet. So it doesn't actually do too much for us at the moment. What do we want to do next? True population factor probably goes up by 10% would be nice. Because we do need all of these. What are you? Your synthetic refinery. Get a little bit more rubber. Unsurprising, Russia has gone for the Russian state. I mean, let's go for population factor first. Finland is joining the Reichspakt. You rise to 54%, that's fine. So the Russian state typically leads to like the Don-Cuban Union joining the Reichspakt. And we'll see if that kind of follows through here as well. Again, my mouth. There we go. Because with Finland in the Reichspakt, Russia's going to have like a pretty large front line that they're going to have to kind of deal with. Which I'm sure they can deal with that on their own just fine. Nationalist leaflet in Tunis. We won't fight for Frenchmen. Tunisians only fight for themselves. Just want to sentence written on leaflets found everywhere in the popular districts of Tunis. Unbelievable. Tunis, look, we're celebrating Eid. Fantastic. Look, do not fight against us, please and thank you. It's very important that you remain loyal towards us. Okay, so my clique is on their two-front war, Tibet and Mongolia. We'll see how that turns out. And let's send this ship here. Just an improved cruiser hull. What ships are we actually making? Just make submarines. As far as I'm concerned, submarines are basically always like the best ship to build. Okay, you're at war with the Prince of Federation, which actually means that we might be at war with the Prince of Federation if I decide to be at war. Does being at war make any sense for us? Yes, we could go off of we can just go to partial mobilization right now anyways. But it's gonna be very, very expensive on the political power front. Yeah, I guess Prince of Federation is fighting a two-front war, so I can see how they might be having some difficulties there. The United States has declared war on the Pacific States. Second American Civil War has begun. So let's see. MacArthur's doing okay. The Pacific States. I mean, I guess it depends on who we want it back. Cause MacArthur, I don't want to sound rude, but he basically just always sucks and doesn't do a great job at anything. Yeah, because now we're at war. Technically, it's an offensive war as well, so we're actually losing popular, we're losing war support and stability. The double whammy there. Edith Gasson, better known as the Little Sparrow, has recently become a sensation in France on both sides of the Mediterranean. Born during the Villekrieg to a failed singer and a street acrobat, raised on a brothel for most of her childhood in the torment of the revolution, she was nonetheless blessed with an incredible voice. Her harsh life had given her a haunting depth and sensibility. Having started her career as a street singer, she quickly started performing in cabarets and workers' clubs, singing about working-class life and struggles. Soon she was on the radio and inevitably her songs would cross the sea and the embargo. Her records are played in plat clubs in Algiers as Frenchmen let the nostalgia of their homeland be soothed by Piaf's striking Parisian accent and the tales of atmosphere of the shady parts of the City of Lights. Some find her songs scandalous, with others insist these songs are coded in syndicalist propaganda, but the government is doing nothing to stop the spread of her records. It is rumored that she has admirers in the high places. Amusingly, she has proven equally controversial in the Commune. There, she has been accused of encouraging bourgeois decadency and seeing counter-revolutionary propaganda about living conditions in the proletariat. Though thankfully, these complaints fall on equally deaf ears. Get a little bit of political power out of that. Fantastic. Sure, Mysore, we can have a non-aggression pact. And you know what? We'll go for constructions phase 3. You should be done, I mean, very soon. And then we can actually go from here to our other colonies without taking a boat. And technically, well, the possibility of being blockaded at Gibraltar, which is a major worry for us. Let's go for, because it's 1937. Actually, we have 2 reasons. We can actually probably get you done pretty cheaply, which is what I want to do when we can. So, you know, let's go for artillery boost. And if I was to throw artillery, let's say support artillery in the U, do I have an artillery for that? I do. So save you there. Put artillery in this army as well. And who actually right now is the camel divisions are... Is that really the best we have? You can do a manpower per suppression, I think. You need armored cars, but I don't think we have that many armored cars, right? We have 289. No, we're missing. We don't have armored cars. Okay, let's go back to you. And for right now, why not also... Oh, you already have MPs in your army. Fantastic. I was going to put an MP there, but that is actually not necessary at all. I mean, I think when we want to invade France, like, we are going to get a beachhead done pretty quickly. I mean, there's also the alternative of just trying to invade Italy as fast as possible. You know, like land here, move our way towards this border, and maybe try to get something to work, but I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. Can these two guys actually join up with Austria's faction? They might be able to. I don't really know. And how the war... I was going to say, the war's actually doing pretty bad because India's not putting enough troops down there. On-time intervention in America. Who should we support? Not the federal government, because they're probably already going to die soon. I'm kind of like, what if we... You know what? Let's support Huey Long. Can't get a war in Panama. They were also, you know, they are also the rightful president. So if anything, we're defending democracy by aiding the American Union States. There's been more attacks. Hawaii joined the Crow Prosperity Sphere. Who are you going to choose? Do I have any tank divisions? I do not. I can send some camels there, but I don't think the camels are really going to be too much of a use. I could send some aircraft. Must be a peace. You know what? That's fair. Army's taking over in the Philippines. Like, I know it makes sense to try to make sure that the Domain of India can actually can win their war here, because having a strong India is a lot of manpower that could be utilized in a future war. I mean, there's nobody in Bombay apparently, but I'm worried about sending any units across like this far away from us, right? What if I... Following a meeting with Prince Henry of His Holiness, the Prince of Brunswick a campaign to honor the memory of Pontifex Zoyevas, a regiment of pious, mostly French volunteers who defended the Papal States until the conquest of Rome by the King of Italy in 1870. Following the fall of the Eternal City, these volunteers immediately headed to France to fight bravely in the Franco-Prussian War. These devout Catholics, many of them royalists, headed by Baron Anthony de Charlotte de la Contrée, descendant of the famous leader of the Vendée insurrection, nevertheless set aside their differences with the Republic to fight against the Prussian aggressor. Despite the defeat, they captivated French Catholic imagination for decades. The spirit of devotion to both faith and nation is what Prince Henry intends to revive as a new regime is slowly but surely reasserting itself. Furthermore, with the Papal States on the front line of crusading against socialism, it would be decided that the Zovice should be reformed, welcoming Catholic volunteers from all over Europe. For the occasion, the 1870 banner reading Sacred Heart of Jesus, Save France, was recreated. Blessed by Bishop Algiers and gifted by the Prince himself to the assembling unit, they will head to Rome and proudly stand guard on the Tiber, representing the French faithful united as one in their duty to defend the Church. You know what, let's send these troops over. Are you not already in a port? Just go via, like, sea. How long is it even going to take for you to get there? About a month. Okay, I mean, that's not so bad. But I do think that at least for right now, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Anthnwam. If you enjoyed, give me a thumbs up. Not enjoyed, click some down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.